la la.
Good afternoon, everyone. Captain Lane speaking, and wishing you a safe travels to your crypto destination. For those of you traveling with mice, please securely position your cursor over the light button below and right-click with your favorite finger. For those with touchscreen devices, we ask that you gently press the
Greetings to the crypto community. We are pseudo-anonymous. We are here to smash that like button. We believe this content needs to reach more people like you. We are watching. We are listening. Most importantly, we are liking and subscribing. We are pseudo-anonymous. Expect us.
For those of you out there that have been hitting that like button, I sincerely thank you very much.
Sadly, it's really take 3, but we're going to roll with it. Hey, welcome to the stream again. Those of you who came back, all 2 of you, thank you. Hey, Strigo, Sam Webb. Off to a rough start on the other one. No microphone. We're going to carry it through now. Bitcoin, it's up. Is that a place where it can come down? Or is it going to come down? I don't know. It looks like it still wants to go up. I got a trend line. That's what I go by. And I'm still in mid trades. What trades? Okay, so with this muckled up thing, this morning I was getting in. I got an average entry price of 68,000. It was below that, but I add and I take away, just like the good Lord. Add on the bottoms and take away on the tops or breaks of trend lines, and that's just kind of my in and out strategy, if you want to call it that. Rather than jumping out at 4% and risking $1,800 to make $50, I have got this. How much is this? It did start at 700. It only started out very small. I start out small, build that little sucker. $600, $700 position, and my overall profit is, according to this, I don't agree with this. Cumulative profit is 152%, and I'm at $543 profit. And then I've got one for Bitcoin where I've made 87% more Bitcoin than what I have started with. So we got that going on. How's that 152 if I'm at, anyway. And I'm still in this trade because, well, Bitcoin's still going. I didn't have to get out at all. My rules tell me I don't have to get out until a certain thing happens. I can still ride this baby on up. And we caught the trend, caught the swing, and caught the bigger swing, the smaller swings, and this is where the money's made when we actually get these moves up. It is not in the chop that we've been in, and we want to avoid that chop. Should it start happening again, if we start chopping up, by chop, I mean in this area over here, man, where we've been. Chop, 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 chop. It's these moves here that really, really make our portfolios multiply, and we get those big, big gains. And this is where they take it back from you and all the chop, chop. So we want to start seeing another move and break out of this zone. And it may not happen yet, but then again, it might. So we need to see these areas of about $75,000 get cleared. I've got well, 76,000 is what I've got. If we do, I do have a Fibonacci target. Best of my memory, this is a 113. It's at 87,200, 300-ish. And we can finesse that at some other time. But my strategy, what I've been looking for and following, is the break of certain trend lines that we've had along this way that indicated that we might be in that parabolic move. And, you know, there wasn't a very popular view, but it seems to be holding true. And the last thing that we looked at, actually taking this angle of this main line and turning it into a channel and seeing where we get support. And you know, we break that trend line, I had to put on my caution ears. I had to look at the possibility about it wasn't playing out, even though I was like, that sucks. So it really looks like it. Other indicators were saying that might, such as Lucy coming into play here, which, you know, if you believe in Lucy, you believe in Lucy. If you don't, then I don't know. It's the little devil girl, but she likes to mess around with price sometimes, but then sometimes, you know, she supports price, but neither here nor there. Breaking back above this trend line was the big thing. Now, by my strategy, we should be looking for a big parabolic move, or have the chance, have the probability for that to happen, because that's what happens with my method, my strategy. That's just the rules of it. If you break back out, or especially if you're breaking out of a bearish pattern, which this is, defying it, then this is going to be big, and they usually are. So might we hit 87? Maybe 97? Well, that's a little presumptuous, don't you think? A little too early to get there. I'm about ready to clear this chart out. I can't even see it. This one's a little cleaner. This one's a lot cleaner. This is not it. This is total 3. This one's better. And this is it's not matching up well for this time frame, probably on the daily. This is our channel that we're in, and breaking out, baby, breaking out, trying to break out. Number looking good. Let's look at some altcoins, baby, because they should be going up. Dominance is going down right now. We got the perfect storm for this week, and we talked about the possibility of this week looking good for altcoins. Do remember to pay yourself when we start getting up to these areas. Make sure you've taken some profit, because it might come back down and we get to go through it all over again, that little downside, and that's not great. You have dry powder, it's a lot more fun, though. I can tell you that, personal experience, and that will help take an account out of the negative into the positive. And this is not the stream. I was about to show out the other guys, the margin account. Not on this, not, ooh, almost did that. The spot margin account has made a definite comeback because of the way that I managed it when we had the big drops. I was able to pull a little bit more capital in and then borrow a little bit and then really take advantage of those. Not crazy, but just enough. And now, as we rose back up, I'm good. Now we're looking for the gains, especially if Bitcoin keeps going up and altcoins keep going up, then we're set for some good profit. Nuco Cloud's making the comeback there. So guys, if you got any altcoins you want to take a look at, just throw them in the chat, because if not, you're going to look at what I want to look at. I'm trying to find you guys. And shout out to everybody here, and please, for the love of God, let my microphone be on. Thank you, God. Thank you, Jesus. Watch him take it off again. Hey, and that's what's afraid of. We're swinging. And there's Joe from Trade Intuition. Guys, check him out over on YouTube. Let's give him a proper shout out this time. OTO the YouTubio. And there he is, right there. Trade Intuition. So he does live streams usually about 3 o'clock every day, I believe. Maybe even weekends, I'm not really sure. But give him a like, give him a follow, check out what he has to say. And if you're having trouble in this market, check him out. If you're new and these ideas are not starting to click yet, I mean, you kind of get the brand spanking new people. Those are great. You get you're new and you're starting to pick it up. It's starting to make sense. You kind of get your intermediate, then you get your advanced, and then whatever else that you get. So there's a whole spectrum here for everybody. And Joe covers, if you don't know what Joe is teaching, Dude. Nothing I say is going to make any sense. I'm just saying. Oh, let's see what happened here. Traders, man, this video that I just, we just did this, right? Where are you? I guess it's my thumbnail, but you know, before I even said a word live, they've already given me limited monetizations. So, hey, whatever. I think it's the thumbnail. It's Suzu. I think Suzu's cool. Let's see. Joe was saying something here. Let's go back and see what we got. Joe says, I just asked a different streamer if he explained stuff. He was, oh man, he was zooming in and out and showing different time frames. I also told him this was my first time watching his channel. Guess what happened next? He banned me. Oh my gosh. Logged into my other account to see why I had no response from him or his community. Asked the same question with about 15-minute intervals. About 90 minutes in, I checked with my other account, and sure enough, I was banned. None of my comments were showing up. What a punk. That's the difference if he... Are we talking about the normal streamer? I asked how they tell the difference between a double top and, you know, the M tops and the cup and handle. That's all it took. It wasn't a cup and handle. It was a top. He reminded me of someone I was watching left a comment, and that person removed me from all of his groups and banned me from leaving comments on his YouTube about pork. Some are like that, Joe. I don't know. You asked me to explain something to the jailhouse. No lemon water for you. Oh my gosh. Maybe we are. Joe says, yeah, 1,400 subs. Congrats. Well, I thought it was congrats the other day, and then I lost 4 or 5. So I was like, well, what happened? Did I sneeze drunk or something? But yeah, 1,400 and holding so far. And to one of you guys, I see that happen from time to time. Those levels fluctuate a little bit. I'm not for everybody. But there's some people that resonate with me. All right. Nobody's mentioned any altcoins. You're going to take a look at what I want to look at then. Here you guys, I'm going home. I am going to be implementing a new rule though in my streams. It's obviously not starting tonight though, but when it comes to my streams, I just figured I'll just do this. I've been doing 2-hour streams and I got to stop it, but I'm going to start going by the where you at? Does it tell me? Well, I'm gonna give 2 minutes for each like that I get for the previous stream, put it on my thing, and then when that goes off, I'm gonna add an additional like or additional minute for each. Is that what we're doing? We're doing 2 minutes for each like that's too much. We're doing 1 minute for each like for the previous stream, and then 1 minute for each like that I get on the current stream. So right now we have 15 minutes left to go in this show. Let's kick it. Where are all the altcoins hanging out, man? Are they turning red? What's going on, man? They doing something that would just flip bearish? I don't know, Bitcoin looking good to me. Bubba line on this time frame, she looking good. So altcoins, why are you going bearish on me? Solana. How you doing, Solana? You still holding that trend line? That's good. Ain't no reason to get out until that sucker breaks. My personal opinion. I'm just telling you. Oh look, there was a possible trade set up here for something. Was it this? I don't even know. I mean, it might have. I bet it was. Okay. After here to find some. With it, there's no line. Oh well, I'm not counting that. I usually draw a trend line if I'm going to be freaking big. I don't know what's going on there. I think I was looking for people to start calling for head and shoulders. But instead, we got this nice little trend line to the upside after this little guy. This is your main trend line. This is your secondary. Basically, if you're looking for getting in at this area. If you're already in, things are good. I see no reason to bail out, baby. She's respecting it. Higher highs, higher lows. Trend line breaks, then the hell it goes. Let's get to a bigger time. What are we on, an hour? Oh, there's a big arrow pointing right here at this. Is that your butt? Dot, is that your butt? I wasn't going to point it out like that, but clearly. Look at the tight moving averages here. You know, when the moving averages get tight, you just got to wait for the price to come back to the 21. And then it's to the moon, to the upside. I'm looking for crosses over here. That's where moving averages cross. And there's some good crosses going on. They're all crossing over late with Lucy, by the way. Need to do that. It's a 600 and something moving average and an 800. Now Lucy is below that 800, so don't expect her too exciting to the sky move. We ain't heading to the $50. She's going to sandbag us because that's what she does. But the other stuff is looking good on the bigger moving averages. And yeah, I know this area that we just broke out of there at 729. We'll probably get tested. Maybe not immediately, but just, you know, it just happens, baby. So if you're not happy with your entry, which, gosh, we're just at 750. It's not horrible. I'm on the 1 hour. What really matters is the bigger time frames. Because that tells us, baby, we established another trend line that seems to be holding pretty well. I'm going to move this up now to candle bodies. Establish that guy well. It looks like we've got a new thing going on. Taking us to some good areas. Maybe as high as $11. Could that happen? Yeah. Right now we're looking at about 951 being tops. So I'm looking for these areas here, sideways, to confirm. Meaning the candle opens and closes and opens above it and then more upside. And it's really weird for me to say this because as the price is going up, we are getting on the daily the death cross. I think we saw this last night for a bunch of others, right? Price is defying the death cross. Now, me personally, when I see the death cross with the 50 crossing the 200, it's not ever an immediate thing, but it does hold weight. So probably expect to pull back. I would not expect us to get past this 100 moving average area here in dots, and I'll go ahead and lay that one out. I can expect us to come up here and test that area somewhere around 815, but I wouldn't expect to get above that. Probably come back down and then try to work through this so that we can get these moving averages kind of ironed out a little bit. Probably do need to bring up the bigger ones here. Okay. And here's the 800s. Right. Okay. Now this is promising though. With the 200 crossing the 800, can that nullify that? I have never in my life seen this or even thought about this happening. Okay. So this is a freaking anomaly. So I can't tell you what's going to happen because this is wild. I'm just having to wait to see what happens, what does play out. 50 crossing the 200. Bearish. That's your sell signal on the daily. That's your sell signal. But look at this, a 200 crossing the 800. That's bullish as all hell. We are bearish and bullish at the very same time. Technically, I guess if you looked at who weighed more though, the bullish one is outweighing the bearish one. This 200 move across that 800 is a much bigger thing than the 50 crossing the 200, in my personal opinion. I'll throw that out there for what it's worth, but it's going to cause a hiccup. So might we see some more chop a little bit here, maybe for DOT? It's kind of what I'm getting from it. Bitcoin Cash bumping up to the upside, right? Look, trend line. No need to sell till that sucker breaks. Just trying to voice a little bit better of a strategy than what's out there for people to play. It even works on the 1 minute time frame if you want to be that risky. B&B and a Little Weed was one of my favorite songs from the Black Crowes on that album. Wouldn't mind hearing that song again sometime, but right now we got B&B trying to break out, attempted to break out. It's not really official yet on this particular time frame, right? Because I need another candle above it and ready to rock and roll. I don't need one to come back in here. I need a candle to open above it and just shoot on up there, baby. That could happen. Little Ichimoku Cloud over here saying, yeah, I kind of like that. So B&B looks like it might be getting a nice little move, but now should you go crazy with the measure move? I'm going to say no, although most people will be shown that to the upside is something crazy, like a big ass kind of, we're going to do this. To like 950. But the first thing that I would look at here, do your trend lines. You got that, right? And, price travels and channel. The first thing that this thing's going to do, if it ever does break out, is it's going to test the channel. And check that from the bodies. If you want to be a little bit more sure, it might come up there first and drop back down. But eventually, it might have enough to just, go to the tips up there. Might even want to do 2 trend lines, one on each one, and just have a smaller one dotted. Sometimes I do that to denote that extra little area. Paint these little guys red. Technically, this is a bearish pattern. It should break down to the downside. For the channel anyway, and this symmetrical kind of triangle looking thing, or I don't know. Some people, when they get, you'll see this kind of gets me sometimes. Sometimes you'll have this shape and then people don't know what to do with it. And so they're always trying to do something like this. And it just makes me not trust any of them at all. So I don't trust any of those type of triangles. The only kind of triangles I like are the rising wedge, falling wedge. Those kind of guys. And you find them all the time. These, I just, I just wait to see what they do. It's got a chance, but if 690. Stop talking so much, road dog. Just tell us where it's going to go. I don't know where it's going to go. I just know where it could have a probability that I would see where it would go based on my techniques and methods. And it says 695, but I also got 795. So, to the upside. Some people would say it'll go to 944. Well, I mean, there's a ratio there. Yeah, I can. Is it the right one? I don't know about that. I've got 861 to try to be a little bit more accurate, taking that from a fib movement. So with hope, man, number keep going up for us. That's what we want, right? And they're going to be retests and things like that, but overall part, man, things are looking good for the next foreseeable days anyway. Maybe 3, 4, 5 days, maybe. At least that's what we saw in the indices, so we got that going for us. Cardano even getting a rise up, man. There's no death cross, and here we are bumping up. We're not out of the woods yet. We're not above the 200 moving average, and by most people's standards, it's nothing unique, and nobody just recently discovered it. But if price is above the 200 moving average, you're considered you bullish. That's just the general rule. That's the general rule you go by. And sometimes price doesn't know it's above, just sometimes it doesn't respect it and comes back down. And then if you're below the price, you're generally bearish. So we are generally bearish here, but things seem to be wanting to retest that area. So I say that because here we've also got that old death cross. And we're not dying. We're coming back for a retest. So Cardano looked for about 53.5 cents and got to see what she's going to do there. I think it looks like it has a chance to break up past that, and it sounds crazy after a death cross, but It looks like it has a chance to come up to 56. I don't know if it will or not. I just listen to the charts and tell you what they're saying, and they're not giving me all their future. They're being very selective about their future dates and times at the moment. There's a listening device in there. Respect that angle. Well, you respect that angle a lot. What does that say? 57 cents, 56 cents, that area? So you have to drag it out of them like pulling teeth. There you go. That's what I see anyway. So guys, let me ask a question. Is it better if I just kind of go over, just kind of screen through things on this stream and then maybe use the membership streams to start talking more about the little details that I do here, there, whatever, or, you know, get more to save that to get more in depth to my thought process or anything, and just kind of just find the numbers, just find the pivot points. That's basically all I do. That's how I find pivot points. Just places where she can turn around and do things. That's all this is. And you can get really accurate with some of these real techniques. And I know, you know, sometimes we'll come back and revisit one and it respected it perfect. Not always. It doesn't always, but a lot. It really does. And I blame that on fibs and just being picky with my measure moves. That's all I can say. But nailed it. All that's, but you know, this is not anything magic. This is just God's math and the tools that we use to try to decipher it in these charts. And what I'm trying to say is that no matter how excellent, or you can have the most perfect spot on TA, I could just nail this and know exactly where prices are going to. Let's say it's that. Let's say that just I got some system that whatever I throw up here, that's where price hits. Let's say it's a guaranteed the price will get there. We don't know how it's going to get there, but it will hit it. Yeah. That's the thing. And in that journey there, this market will mess with your mind and you will start overthinking or underthinking, meaning you're just not paying attention when you need. Well, it all boils down to not paying attention when you need to, and you will screw that up. It's how you manage your trades, which has a lot to do with your emotions, and just keep it a simple system. And we can make it as complicated as we want, and I can come out here and get fib targets and everything, but I'm telling you, the money maker is me following my trends. The money maker is me showing you exactly what I'm doing over there on CoinEx, and this. The money maker is doing this. Because once you get into a trend, that's when the money comes. And then we look into areas to the left. And some people want to look to the actual areas, and it depends. You know, some people pick the wicks, pick the body, so there's some variations there. But people do know that everybody's going to be looking at that. So maybe you front run it, maybe use a fib to get those areas. Because the fibs seem to be very well respected. Especially if they match up with previous areas where there was a hiccup or something, price action. But when it all comes down to it, when you look at what's going on in the charts, it's the swings. It's the trend. It's the trend. We're making higher highs overall and higher lows. So our overall trend is up, and here it is, right there it is. We're even deviating from it, which is an early stage of FTM getting ready to go freaking parabolic. Probably not this month, probably not next month, but is she? I don't know, might. She's forming those early signs. She's starting to tilt up here. We're getting a divergence here of our trend line. We're making higher lows a little higher than we normally would. That's bullish. We're getting bounces and U-turns on our moving averages here. That's but even without that, just the trend lines themselves will tell you so much, man. And we followed this one, and it seems crazy, but you know, directly straight up from the candle that we're on now. If we just had all this money come in, I would still look for rejection at the top of that trend line somewhere around 153. And wherever candles bodies come up, and touch that trend line, I'm looking for a rejection. And we do it again for a rejection, meaning that the trend will change. And it may change before we get up there. And so the money is made by getting in and not jumping out every time a red candle shows up. And I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't understand how you could do a trade setup. Like, you see the probability of this. You got the chart saying, hey man, I can come up here and touch this level. I can do it. I have that chance. And I don't see how you can do a great setup and get in and then bail on it just because we're up a few $100 or, which is a small percentage, just $25 or whatever, and get in and get out, and then try to keep getting in and getting out. So my theory is, do you remember that story about the two bulls? They had the Papa bull on top of the hill under the apple tree, and the young buck bull out there, and they're looking at all the cows in the field, and the young buck's all excited, and they're, Daddy, let's go run down there and talk to them all. Let's go down there and talk to some of these cows. And the OG bull's like, screw that, son. I'm just going to walk down there and talk to them all. Just take it slow and easy. Go with the flow. You get the most. Am I preachy? Am I being too preachy? But that's, following trends and the trend lines. They always tell you when to take profit, when to get out. It's a good place. When to get back in if you decide to do that because you break back above. And you guys, I like to look at the 9-moving average. We're above it. We're always good in my book. So ins and outs, just trend lines, man. And when you connect trend lines, that's when you get patterns. But gosh, you don't have to be all crazy about, this is what was it? What am I called? 3 peaks and a dome top. Yeah, the more complicated patterns are, the less likely they are to play out. And you keep it simple. And I'm telling you, triangles and channels, that simple. And you can add whatever indicators that you want, man. I use several, probably more than most people would. Are necessary. I got MACD, RSI, I got BMC here, or Market Cipher, which has about 5 different ones just all slapped in there. And it looks confusing at first, but then once you get used to it, you can just look at it at a glance and boom, you got, and just download what's happening just by first glance. And we're good. We need to look at something. It can catch your attention just like that. It's really easy to use. I like it. Moving averages. And then I got the little cloud back there because the cloud just kind of spells out for sure when I'm in shaky areas. When you're in the middle of a cloud, that's a shaky area to be in. You want to be cautious when you're in a cloud. But in some of them can tell you which ways you're likely to go. I don't know. There's just these little things that you pick up individually that speak to you. These spoke to me, and you add them to your toolbox, and then all of a sudden you're not losing much money anymore. You've got some good things that show you what to do. You start focusing more on your emotions and managing your trade. Manage the trade. And then at some point you can learn to dance with that trade. And as price keeps going up and it comes down, you can learn when to shave a little off and add a little in, and you can milk this sucker. Shave a little off and add a little. And it sounds so simple right now because it's always more simple to do or to talk about than it is to do. It takes a long time to get to where you're comfortable doing it, but I can't do it without trend lines. I can't do it without trend lines. And baby, I'm liking this one for FTM right here. One on to 1 hour. Woo, look, we got a new trend right there. Just confirming. Nice. And maybe we can identify a channel. Maybe she wants to pump it up higher, but we got a good sense of a possible channel where we might find some rejection. Just doing that simple thing. Just doing that. Because really, I don't need to sit here and pull a Fibonacci and put those. I do that, but this is the common place. This is the common way to do a trade setup. This is it. But with my method, it's buying at the bottoms of the trend lines, and then you got the lowest risk to reward ratio, because if it breaks this trend line, well, hell, this trade, it's over. We got to look at something else, something changing. What we're wanting to do for it to come up here ain't going to happen. And I can do fibs and get little short-term targets for scalping and this and that, or here and maybe it even applied on bigger picture things. You can do a lot. You can do a lot. But the main thing is just zooming out a little bit on your time frame. Whatever time frame that you're trading on. I'm trading the 1 hour here. I'm following this trend line. Now, say for instance here, when we start deviating from it, we come up to an area, and this, this is not established at that point, right? We don't know where this is going. It could go to the moon. If I'm on the 1 hour, I would probably come to maybe a 5 minute, 6 minute somewhere. We're trading the 1 hour. That's our idea. You can come to a smaller time frame, whatever makes sense, where you can see the little trends, and then you can trade them. You can trade them and just do nothing but do the trends and look, deviation, right? So as these play out by my strategy and what works for me, when you break the trend line, you're looking at selling or at least taking profit, 25%, whatever. And you're waiting. If you're getting in here, I don't know if you bought a breakout or something, you're in here and you're in this trade, wherever you got in. I mean, we're following the trend line, and then it broke it. Then we're following the top trend line. And when it breaks, that tells me, hey man, I need to look at buying. Especially if I'm above the non-moving average, I could use that as a little confirmation. And you may be buying back in at the same price you sell. It doesn't matter. If you're doing leverage, you're raising your point of entry, but you're still taking that profit and adding that to your bag. So you want to do this. And then you've got a new trend established. So, if we break this trend line, we need to have stop losses below it. And that way we can be stopped out in profit. Because if we break that trend line, it's probably going to go lower. Our trade's probably done breaking this trend line. But we follow it and it deviates from it. Why did it down, road dog? You take some more profit, man. What if you take another 25% up here? What if? I'm on a 6 minute. We follow it and see what it does to you. So how do you know the trend line? Well, maybe you do this. You wait for it to give you the low, and you draw your trend line there, because that would make sense. You're like, actually, you'd be doing this if you're following your bottoms. You're lining up against the candles, and you may decide, you see another trend line that's starting to form. Respect that. Use that. When it breaks, sell. It's all the same thing. If your trend line doesn't look like it's shaping up right, you can go to a smaller time frame, get some more noise, or look for what you can. In this case, just following that one. You're still coming around the same point to sell or take profit, depending on what you want to do. But that's a take profit or sell place. And then we got to see if you're going to break up to the upside. It didn't. And this might be the place that you might say it might be the place. I'm usually looking on the opposite trend line, but this is maybe a reason you want to draw both sides of the trend line, and then you start seeing patterns form. And let's flag to the upside, which many people would have just fell instantly right in. That's the go-to. It's the go-to. It's automatic. It's a bias. It's automatically going to be a flag to the upside every time. Every time a flag to the upside. And you know what? Market makers know that crap. And you know what? There's some little signs here that people forget to look at, or maybe just don't pay attention to, like losing that non-moving average. They give you a few little hints before things might happen. Just a warning sign. Not saying that I would have called that, because, you'd be tracking this trend line, may not see it. So you track them both, you would have caught it. But still, you got your main trend line here that gives you an out signal. So you had a chance to catch it here. Maybe you did, maybe you didn't. Maybe you was looking for that upside, that big old bull flag. It wasn't. But in retrospect, yeah, anybody could have seen that head and shoulder to the downside. things flip-flop the next day or a few minutes later or whatever. I mean, you just see that. I'm saying that's why it's stupid, in my personal opinion, just to be the one, I called this and I called that, because that's just a sign of immaturity in trading. The thing to do is be grateful that, hey man, you were able to find that, and let's move on. Share it with other people. Let other people need to know right now, because we're getting in the world of hurt. Sell place, and then, you know, it's, oh my God, no fib is being used in this. No fibs allowed. We got to start a trend line here. I guess I would be looking for something like that. Any break above, we get in, add to the position. Bottom trend line will let you know when we're breaking to the downside. Add to the position, take a little profit. Maybe it's right the same thing, in and out. It doesn't matter. We're still getting paid. We're still bringing money, especially if we're on leverage. We're still bringing money out of this. And then, you know, we're constantly adjusting our entry and exit prices. And when I'm in the charts, if I'm trading, live trading, this is exactly what I do. This is exactly what I do. So we're in a downtrend now, right? And I've just got a whole mess here. Am I boring people? I think I'm boring people. I think I'm boring everybody. I get carried away when I like talking about this stuff. I do. Maybe nobody wants to hear it. What's wrong with JTO? Nobody invited her to the party. I don't know. Call her up. Text her. Use that swag. Mr. Miles says, what happened yesterday? They get you right. Hey, the stream just cut off. I was sitting there jabbering away, and then I think I was talking to you, Mr. Miles, and it was just gone. I was like, well, there that goes. I think it's because you're flirting with my daughter on there. Death crosses and golden crosses are the most underrated, the laggiest indicators out there. One wonders why people pay attention to them in crypto. Because other people listen to them and bots trade it. I know for a fact bots do it, because my bots did, and they were programmed to where that was an option. So it's just a strategy. But yeah, it's worth paying attention to. But when I explain it, it's like it's not even buy now or sell now, but maybe the next pullback. Because it usually does. I mean, well, it does have a thing, but it is lagging. But yeah. They're highly overrated, and we got the death cross. Dun, dun, dun. I gotta sell, Helen. He said we got the death cross on the daily. We gotta sell right now. Joe says, check out Uni. Let's check out Uni. I hope it's doing good, because I actually have some of that on that spot margin. And I liked where they were going with this, where they were going to use this the way that they started out. Because I remember, I was like, yeah, that's why I got into Uni in the first place, because they were supposed to be sharing the revenue that they got. That was the whole purpose of the governance thing. Why else would you want to have one if you're not going to get a benefit? YFI is supposed to do that too, split everything in the fees to the people that hold the tokens. Like automatic, like you don't have to go stake it to do it, like you just get it, like airdrops or something. So I'm like, cool. And then after time, I guess I forgot. I'm like, why do I have Uni? Why do we have Uniswap? But now they came out, you know, they tried to do that. And now I don't know, the SEC doesn't like that idea of them doing that. I don't know if there's been any change in that. Maybe so, since with the ETH thing going on. I don't know, man. But what have I got going on here? This is, okay, that's not bad. Oh, this was just a thing with an alarm. Not, man. Woo. Trend line wise, I've got this, and we're back above it. And what I was taught, and this actually, you know, this concept here actually came from a trading group. So I want to give credit where credit's due. Sometimes you hear me talk about the first trading group I was in, and you know, I there's some things I say about it that, you know, you're not really delivered the bill. what you're promised is not always what is actually delivered, although what was delivered is usable and workable. So I mean, I just, you know, let you know that sometimes I think things are a little bit overpriced for. That's not what I'm saying. But what I learned from him, some of the things I learned, and it was mostly from watching him do stream, the screen shares. That's where I learned the most. And it's just 1 hour. He would get on with a private YouTube video or whatever. It's where I always see it, and just do what we're doing here, just going over the market and what to look for with T. And that was it. And that's where I learned everything. And that's why I like coming on here and just talking about techniques and things like that, and hoping people would be interested. But some people don't care. Some people just want lumber. But when you put these things together and you finally get a grip on this market without it having a grip on you, I mean, it starts becoming amazing. And you wonder how these people get to be multi millionaires, and they're making that old school rock star money, because rock stars don't make that much money anymore like they used to back in the old CD days. But they're making that old school rock star money there, like 50-60 million. And they're like, what? Yeah, it can be done in crypto. You can, but you've got to get some of this stuff down. And I would definitely listen to any OG advice that you find out there, because the OG's got it. But anyway, back the concept that I learned, the trading, I'll give him a shout out. It's Crypto Bitcoin Chris. I don't even know if his trading group is up and running anymore, because there's some stuff that happened over there. But he did. It was like the concept of breaking back into this trend line, breaking back into a pattern, especially if it's bearish. Strong move, and it's proven to be true. It's proven to be true. You were most likely to see a very strong move when you break back in, reclaim that trend, as in the bear trap or the bull trap idea. One of the best little strategies that I've added, because he would always say this is his son. This is when he goes hard and heavy. Not financial advice. That's what he would say too, I think. But, you know, it would work for him from what I can tell. The few trades I've ever heard him really talked about, they talk about the ones that really hit the big ones, right? And then you kind of see, man, you ain't talked about another new trade in a while, dude. Man, that trade was like 2 years ago, man. You ain't had a big one, you know. I don't know. I'm not saying anything. I learned from there, so I got to give credit where credit's due. And this was a good one. This was a good strategy. And it looks like the 988 area over here, this moving average, 100 moving average on Unispot. Is that going to be an area we need to contend to? What's it got anything over here? A little bit right there. Right under here. See, sometimes, you know, price will go to a moving average, man, and just get rejected on it. Boom. Like it respected. But then other times, she might bounce up through, bounce back in. EMAs I found, I used to use EMAs, and they were notorious about that. And I switched over to I switched over to moving averages again by accident, because I just erased them and had to put them back. But I started noticing that with the actual moving average, that price does respect it. And I mean, if you research, it's not exactly a support resistance line, but it acts. It can act as support, but it's always moving. It's not like you're set in stone horizontal support. Not like that. It's not like that trend line, which can act as, it also acts as support resistance. But they do have a play, and especially the way that they interact with each other. I think that's the biggest telling, the biggest secret that took me a while to really realize. And when I found that out, I mean, that's just like, oh my gosh, there's a whole new world open to me when I realized that I can gauge the separate moving averages off each other and how they relate to each other. And it's not hard, you know, it's when they cross, when they don't cross, and they order up in sequential order or not. Those little signs that just mean so much. You get a lot from that. Uniswap looking cool, man. Got a little breakout area going on here, and indicators look cool. What are we on, the daily? Daily looking good. It's a nice little strong move. Doesn't look like she's ready to stop overall. Ichimoku Cloud says you touching into that red. It has a tendency you bounce around in here a little bit. It's not it can be a shaky ride, but usually you end up on the other side of that cloud with a little sliver of green coming over here and try to ride above it like you did over here. That's what we hope for. Possibility for a big, I'm holding with that. I'm looking for a big strong move to possibly come out of this. And if I had to try to get this into, we got this. Oh, well, I'm going to go with this because that matches up really nice there. And then even here, that was just an anomaly, which could explain the price action, I guess, that we got. Because when you do get those breakouts, we talk about, if it breaks out of here, it's going to go parabolic. And it does good unless it breaks back into it. Because just like breaking out of it was really good, breaking back in is really bad. And usually, not every time, but usually they come back to the bottom of the pattern. And you don't want to admit that when you're up here and say, no, it's at the bull flag. We can make a comeback. Oh, hell, we got a head and shoulders now. To the downside. Oh. Dude might actually call more patterns, right, if he zoomed out and used trend lines rather than chasing whatever little pattern happens to be on the smallest time frame. I'm just saying. Just swap. Looking good in short time. Man, 1 hour looks kind of interesting. It's holding that 9. Don't know if it will keep holding that 9 moving average. See going sideways. Oh, it's a flag to the upside. Could be. Could be. I'm going to use the most popular YouTube method for this algorithm right now because, man, I need help with this algorithm. I gotta get some more viewers out here, so I'm going to use the old YouTube algorithm trick right here. Let's just call the double Sammy whammy. The double whammy, I'm sorry. And we're going to draw this trend line right here. Looky there. Oh, we got a ascending triangle. 68% chance, Libra. Everything has a 68% chance. Break this. Listen. 50-50 pattern. Break up to the downside. Measure move. Measure move says that we can go all the way up to $11.70. But a 50-50 pattern, it could break to the downside. I'm not going to lie to you. 717. Yeah, we come back tomorrow and we pick whichever one worked out and called it. We called it. Or we come back the next day and say, well, if you've been by my trading group, you would have known that we called this breakout to the upside. Wait, yeah. And a lot of times we're calling them minute by minute as they happen. Look, price is 9.20 cents right now. I called that. Price might go to it might go to 9.19.8. If it does, I called it. It might go back to 9.2. Oh, look, it went to 9.918. I called that. I called it. You wouldn't know unless you was watching the stream, and I called it here live on the stream. I called that. 9.198 is a fact. I'm not lying. It's a fact. I called it right here tonight. I told you where Uniswap was going to go exactly. Now, if I say this tomorrow and I say last night I called Uniswap exactly to the T where it was going to go, 918. I nailed it. Sounds even better than 2 days, 3 days later. So that should help my algorithm go to the upside. Okay, so we're going both directions. Oh man, we could get rejected over here, man. We could up here. So if we're coming down, I'm looking for like 842 if we want to come down that area. There is a 21 moving average there. It's talked about a lot. Might happen, might not happen. Depends on if it breaks that 9 or not. That's the first sign I'm looking for. And if it doesn't break that 9, well, I'm looking for 918. And if there's a possibility, it can happen. It's not uncalled for that we could actually get a actual measured move, which when I take them, I'm kind of picky. I like to take the measured move and put it, where I'm supposed to, put the breakout and mark it. However, you might see somebody, I don't know. I don't know. They have, maybe they got some other line drawn up here. I've seen this often happen where a measure move and it's just, wherever. There's something about, let's get the angle. No, something, yeah, I don't know why, but something. Anyway, they just drag it to where the freak ever. And I'm like, that was one of the first things I was like, why are you even taking a measure move? What's the point of taking a measure move if you're not going to respect the measurement of the move? I don't get it. Crazy. Was this one mine? I think that was mine. Bro Dog, you're venting tonight. I don't know. I have vented before on this. Right now, I think I'm just teaching a different way. Or just showing, an alternative. I think I'm just showing an alternative. And I think that's what I'm trying to do over here with my trades. Here's where are you at, man? Because I think I feel like, oh crap, did you do that? Okay, good, it was it. So I feel like since the Minuteman and not always a Minuteman, just when it's really convenient and gets people to tune in, I think that's what it is. Maybe I should do that. You can learn a lot trading on 1 minute. You really can. You just, it's not going to tell you what price is going to do 2 days from now, though, because it's just a noisy, it's noise. But you can trade any time frame. But since we're around the same price right now, same place, and I can prove that I've, this is all I put in here and I'm not taking any or in or any out, because there's a button called transfer history that lets you know all the money you've ever put in or out. Is this in? Can we say out? So I've put, is this, I don't know, the last 30 down. Anyway, we'll figure that out later. Don't have to be knowing it now, but we can track if you put money in or if you take money out. That's another thing that helps the algorithm on YouTube, is when you can have a $5,000 account and it just slowly dwindles down to maybe, I've seen it go as far as 600, and then then it's 5,000 again. Or I've seen this before. And then actually on streams say when I get above a certain amount, I like to take this out and put it into some other quarter of Bitcoin, which is fine, but it doesn't really show that you're really mastering that account. But it's a legitimate strategy and a smart one. But you do it and put it out, and then you put more in to fund it when it's low. It's a nice little, if you're trying to show somebody, if you're trying to take an account to a certain level, 5,000, 10,000, wouldn't it be better just to do that? The things get switched up, the goals get switched up, and that's not consistent, is it? Then we got money moving in and out or something. I don't know. It's just very clever. Mr. Miles says the bump got cast above 200. Oh, we're still in Uniswap. Man, I'm ranting tonight. I must be in a weird mood tonight. I'm not sticking with the game plan. I'm going blasting through these coins at all, am I? I'm harping. Ooh, look at you. You retest that 21 moving average. Now, I'm not going to do that. A good chance that this was a retest. Because when I get a breakout, I'm always looking for a retest. There's a probability, a percentage probability for, your basic patterns to break out up or downward. There is also a probability statistic for them to come back and retest that breakout area. that doesn't get talked about very much, and that should be part of the strategy. A lot of times when I see you got to break out of a pattern, and then after the breakout, everybody forgets about the measured move, where we're looking for it to go. And it's like, as soon as it breaks out, it's like, oh, we're making higher highs and higher lows, and all of a sudden we got to figure out, I don't know where we're going. We're just lost again. And I'm like, dude, there's a measured move we took from the pattern a few days ago. That's where we're headed. Why are you trying to figure it out? Why are you being scared? Just let it ride. I don't know. And this is taught to new people that are trying to learn not to do the bad, you know, the what's the kind word I'm looking for? Those things that are from people who may be misinformed or poorly trained. You just bitching tonight, right? Maybe I am. I don't know. Striker says I enjoy this content. To bring me bitching. Brackets Venture says I'm learning a lot. I'd love to hear you teach. Well, I like that. I need feedback like that. I need to know that because I don't know. I don't know what to. Because I mean, I've been doing this for over 2 years, dude, and I'm grateful to have 1,400 people. It's been going a lot slower than I thought, but I understand I'm not going to resonate with everybody. But I'm just, you know, I'm not out here trying to be a guru. I just like to share what I've learned. That's my personality type. That's just. I just found out that my personality. I actually have a personality type, and they like to do that kind of thing. So that's who I am. I just like to share what I learned. And I honestly believe that, dude, the world's getting messed up and some stuff's coming down the line that if you don't have your stuff in order financially and maybe other ways that, gosh, I haven't even started in any other ways, you know, it could get hard. There's some nasty stuff that's, you know, our freedoms be taken away. There's some nasty stuff out there. I mean, just need to be cautious. And Bitcoin, the global currency, man, that is part of the solution. I fully believe that. I believe that this. There's a conspiracy theory now that it's the dark side, but I really believe that God's given it to us to give us a saving grace from. You know, the one that you can't buy or sell without. And they pushing for that. You can't buy or sell without. And it would be one under complete control. That's how they do. You can't buy or sell without it. And Bitcoin is the people's money. So it's decentralized. And regardless of its and whatever initial intent, it is decentralized and you can't easily shut it down. And even so, if it were even taken over, half y'all gonna unsubscribe, I know, but you still got Litecoin. You still got some other things that you can still have that same, or Bitcoin Cash, or, you know, even Caspa. You still got some other things that have been launched right, and they're not owned or not set out. And even a new one could come in that's fairly launched and decentralized. You know, just because they screw up our constitution doesn't mean we have to. What are you trying to say there? I say that they could, you know, there could be a Bitcoin 2.0, a grassroots effort done right and not. Maybe, I don't know. We need Bitcoin, and I really think that you need to really focus on getting Bitcoin this cycle. However you want to do it, early cycle, late cycle, during the bear market next time, which may not be as low as what we, you know, may not see those juicy lows again quite as low. Casper looking cool, man. I'm looking for, it's got a good chance for a bounce. Somebody slip me a gummy, because that's what it. Tighten up my trend lines, man. That's a nice. Oh, tighten up my trend lines, and I actually got a candle open and close above this sucker, above the 200 moving average. I'm liking this, Mr. Miles. I'm still looking for 13.6 13.6. We haven't hit that yet. Let me get some of these loser numbers out of here. We're only looking for the big numbers, right? 13.3, 14.4. Oh, it wasn't Casper the one like 13.3, 14.4, 15.5. Was it Casper that was doing that? 15.5, 16.6, 17.7, 18.8. Yeah, it was Casper. That's the easiest way to kind of think of some profit taking areas. She likes to double up on them. So in this instance, man, I mean, we're possibly on a very nice trajectory here and looking for those big numbers, which this is what you want to hear, isn't it, Mr. Miles? You want to hear about 22 and even 25 cents, right? That's why you come here. Because it could happen. I'm hoping it happens. I need it to happen. I want it to happen. I just wish it happened a little bit faster than what it's doing. Casper, come on. Let's bounce back now, baby. The only thing I wish Casper didn't have quite as many tokens out there. We would see a little bit better, I think, movement out of price. The sad thing is that the longer we go here, I mean, the harder it will be to move those prices, the bigger the market cap gets with those many tokens. So she'll get kind of ADA and XRP-ish at some point, in my opinion. I may be totally wrong, but they get a little sluggish like molasses at some point. And we kind of get a little taste of it now. She just goes in the range, but she can still make those gains. And gosh, man, I wish I got into her when she's half a penny. But I'm sure I had some kind of bias for something. No, I know exactly what I'm, and some kind of bias sort of. That's nice. I hadn't looked at that before at this angle. That's nice. Bear trap. You know what that means, don't you, by that theory? There's some good sides here, Mr. Miles. Just price action wise, I like that. I like that candle close above this more than anything. That's one of the best things. That looks awesome. So probably a little slow start, but man, we should start this. The trend. This is the trend. This was the trend or the swing, and we should be starting another one. Higher highs, higher lows. If she wants to go straight up, that's cool. If she just wants to go, I don't care, man. Just go up somehow, up and sideways. And Brackets Venture says, I'm really telling you, and I'm starting to do the membership streams, and you got the memberships and stuff. So I'm people want to, was it $3 a month or something like that? People want to do that. I mean, that helps. I've not actually ever accepted actually got my money paid from YouTube yet, but it's collecting over there. And when I fill out the form properly, I'll get it. But it will, I appreciate all that. That will help, because there are definitely expenses and all this software that we got to have to do YouTube and trading and stuff like that. It does get to, there's an expense for this side of it. I need to find a way to offset that. Otherwise, I'm just up here using my trading time, which I don't mind talking about and stuff, but I could probably be using it to actually trade and make some other. I will not zoom out, Road Dog. I will not. Clearly, you've never heard of XRP. Strega says gems will come and go. Don't they, though? All the time. And I'm sitting here thinking the other day, I'm getting mad at myself because I'm finding I'm zooming out and looking at things. I'm like, we're all susceptible to getting into whatever's hot and gets talked about. And then we were starting wanting to look at it and start making videos on it and pointing it out. And that's all it takes for us. That's all it takes for things to move up in crypto. It's just part of the scheme. You just fall into the things, the market makers or whatever, however they get the thing started, and then it starts rolling, and then everybody comes on, and the people that come on last are the ones that come on too late and buy the tops. So I'm focusing now more on more quality projects. I mean, there's always a hot one coming out. It's always going to be a hot thing, and I'm sure the narratives do cycle around, but a lot of them just come and go, man. Aptos was hot as hell when Bitcoin was around 15 to 20,000. What's Aptos doing? You heard anything about it? Celestia was hot as hell. It's the next new thing. Well, you heard about it lately. Apecoin was going to do some crap, man. They all get hot and talked about, and then they get forgotten about, and that's the people that make money get into these coins before it's all talked about. And if we're going to nail this market, that's what we got to do. And I don't mean buying ICOs and stuff. I mean finding the projects on the lows, and just not really caring about them when they start pumping. And that's hard to change, man, because when they start pumping, that's when we want to buy. Everybody wants to be in the winning trade, man. It's pumping green. It's green now. It can go up tomorrow and go up today. And even when you're watching people do TA, we're buying tops and doing top patterns and flags at resistance areas. And the sad thing is that when it comes down and it's in the bear market, we're looking back and talking how nobody knew when the trend was going to change. The reason they don't know the trend is going to change is because they get into wanting to buy the tops and buy resistance. And that becomes norm. That becomes the norm, because if it makes a higher high, that's what we're looking, and then eventually that doesn't work. And then you don't figure it out until it's too late that the trend has changed, that the bull market's over. You don't know the day that it happens. You never know the day that it happens. You might have a guess. You don't know. It's undoubtedly you'd be the big YouTuber that day. Go, today is the day. I'm calling it this day. No, it'll be 3 weeks later. And I called it. That was the top. See, you had the bearish divergence. You had this, you had that. We nailed it. I mean, they don't do it the day of. They only do it after, after it's been confirmed. Maybe a few other people jumped out there, and then we can go out and claim to be the very first or something. That's what that algorithm likes, man. That's what the algorithm respects. Man, I feel like redoing Caspa. Hey, man, we got a shout out for Joe over on Trading Intuition. I got sidetracked. I also want to look at Crypto Savvy. What's he been doing? He was the biggest bear. But, man, he had some good TA before he went on full-on bear. Before he went full-on bear last cycle, like after we left 20,000, he went full-on bear. I don't know what happened, but up until we broke 20,000, he had good TA, man. And that's where I learned a lot of stuff about patterns and who to look for. Thomas Bukowski, I learned that. He mentioned that there too, and even mentioned Wyckoff. That's the first place I ever heard about Wyckoff. And Elliott Wave and stuff. So, but Bitcoin topped out or all new time, or I can't tell. Top is in. Bitcoin, don't be fooled. Are we? That's not him. I got to go to his channel. I'm just curious. What's he been doing lately? Has he been bearish or has he been bullish? I've not noticed him before. Let's see Bitcoin. That doesn't tell me anything. I'll probably do justice to watch his videos, but they'll give you a hint on the thumbnail. Arrow pointing down. Must see Bitcoin update. Bearish signs too. I mean, and there were. I mean, it was bearish, but that's interesting. Market plunge to continue. Bitcoin going down. Blood. Always bearish. Will Bitcoin hit 75K for a blow off top or continue to 100K? What? I bet that's a trick. He's probably, he's usually bearish. He just is. I don't know. Crazy. But yeah, I used to check him out in the early days, and I enjoyed him, and he had really good insight. And I don't know, he just flipped bearish and stayed there for the last 5 years. It's just weird. It's crazy. So I don't do much over there anymore. No one knows the day or hour. And mercy receive. Hey, welcome to the stream. Will you look at Degen? Yeah, sure will. Sad thing is that, you know, somebody, you know, normally frequents the streams kind of on my mind, because during this big downturn that we got, you know, they had a bad time, and they mentioned the possibility of maybe leaving crypto, and I'm just like, man, that makes me sad, because that's what this market is. That's what they're out here to do, is to make you capitulate, make you want to just take all your money and send you home naked and whatever, without anything, naked and cold and hungry. They don't care. They're ruthless. They don't. It's as long as they get their numbers, man. Do what they can do, and get you to the point where you're like, capitulate, and get you off your game, and maybe you make a mistake and buy something too high. I mean, they're good at getting you to do that. I was just talking a minute ago about, you know, it becomes norm here on YouTube, where you'll see buying the flags on the tops, buying tops, expecting a bigger breakout to the upside. And that's risky. I mean, you can, there's a trading strategy for it, but that's the least favorite one is buying. I love the bottom of trim lines. And that's my general rule. Every once in a while, I will throw a little something if it pops off, but it's a little bit. Little. I'm talking like 2 or 3% of whatever my position is. If I'm leverage trading and we get a big green candle, I might let my Degen throw a few coins into the fountain there. But I ain't letting him make no big ass buy. Hell no. Degen gets his ass whooped all the time. I'm talking about my personal Degen. We're supposed to be talking about Degen coin. Somebody slipped me a gummy bear. That's the only explanation that makes sense to me. Somebody has slipped me a gummy bear. Where have I been tonight? I was at a graduation. Anyway. My thoughts be scattered. Above the 9 moving average and trying to get above the 21. Sad thing is, needs to be in reverse order for Degen coin on the daily, but that's nice. Not really what I call a breakout of a trend line kind of thing. I mean, it did, but there's lackluster. It looks to be lackluster. It is actually making higher highs, or at least making higher lows there. Let's come to the 4 hour, see what you look like. Beneath the 200 moving average, mentioned earlier, below the 200 moving average, whatever time frame, it's considered bearish. You know, it's like you got to have a line drawn somewhere, man. And we choose the 200 moving average just to make it simple. Everybody, can we all agree at 200? Yeah, so that's just the general consensus. That's how we play it, and it means more on the bigger time frames, because bigger time frames just always mean more. Because they're bigger, they hold more weight. Would it hurt more if a pebble fell on you or if a building fell on you? And that's the difference between the 1 minute pebble and the monthly skyscraper that could just squish you into jelly. So nice, Degen, you're making some comebacks here. So we just gotta stay good about this 0.2.2. That's the first sign that we need to see here on this time frame. We'll pull out the old magical fizz because that's a fun game to play. We got the old target game. Well, look at the accumulation zones. So that should be a yummy place to buy. I'm going to check out this last high here. Well, it's not really the last one. Could come down to this one. Might just come do it. We'll come down there and do it and see what we got. That swing high. Down to where we are now and kind of see how we line up here with the bibbies. We got our 386. So we'll just mark this little guy as our new accumulation thing. 236. I just considered, hey man, accumulation zone. That was the juicy place to buy for that particular ratio of high to low, or that little section of time and price that we're in at the moment. That's the juicy place. And now we're testing this area. And we need to start looking at this area. It's coming under a 200 moving average at 2.175 cents. And this area over here at 2.6 cents looks kind of nice, and I guess I'll go with 0.27. We'll go with that 1.3 fib. And I think that's all the fibs we need to bring out here. Because if you listen to any of the alpha that I've been spouting, if you're actually trading this and you got an entry, say, I don't know, maybe you played this little guy and drew a trend line and it broke above it and got above the non-moving average, and they give us the thumbs up signal and on this time frame, and maybe you got in there at 1.7. Or even if you're degenning in now and FOMOing in now and something, I don't recommend it. Probably get a better price on a smaller time frame. But now we got a trend line set, and whatever time frame we're on, go under that. Stop loss at 0.01809 by my example right here. Stop it. Why didn't you do bottom right, bottom left? There we go. Put you in the red too. Looking ugly. Bold. Italicized. Non-italicized. Stop. So a stop there. Because if we break that trend line, it's over, baby. It's over. This we'll go sideways or come down, but it's going to change. We're going to change trajectory somehow, and if we're swinging. Now here we are. I come down to the 15-minute, and look, my trend line is off center. Oh my God, what does that mean? I just personally leave it alone, but they can move it. You can tighten it up. That's fine. That angle is more important, I think, than actually trying to just come here and then redraw your swing. You can, if you did, then well, you can. You now have the option, you see, to pay yourself. You're below the 9, which is not fine. That's the first sign of a drop, is when you lose that non-moving average. By my strategy. So for Degen coin on the 15-minute, you still got time to start paying yourself a little bit from all this gain wherever you got in at. I guess if we were looking at a breakout, you could be up maybe 10%. You might want to take a little bit of that. But you might be coming down to this area, or we talked about before, don't want to lose that trend line. We need this to hold. If that does not hold, then you're man, I don't even, we did, because we're on the 4 hour, we're looking at the 4 hour, not looking at the 15. Remember, this is where that's where we did it. This is the trend line you need to do. If you make the trade, wherever you do the trade at, wherever you set up the trade, whatever time frame that you decide to set up the trade, that's the one that you draw your trend line. That's the trend line you respect. And maybe everyone, usually they line up really well. For some reason right now it's just a little iffy, but if you come here and narrow it out, we respect the angle and everything. You have broken it. So now we're starting to look for, it may not be a big swing, but there'll be another swing that should come down. So we have another trend line and follow it once it gets established. And we're looking for a breakout to the upside of it. And then once that happens, make sure it's favorable, but it looks like it's starting to shape up like it would. Price by, I don't know, man, might come all the way back down here. It can. But whatever she does, If she breaks above it, that would be a good place to get in. And then look for the new trend to start. And whenever that happens, then you will get a sense of the new trend. Because that bottom will come into play, and then you'll have this. Then you can start seeing a lot more gains happen. And this, in my personal opinion, these early stages are excellent for building that position and adding to it on the bigger drops. And then when you get the main trend that you're going to follow established. But I mean, it's got to come down here and bounce. If it doesn't, then it keeps going. But once it bounces, and then we got a new bottom that we can establish that trend, and then you can start seeing a possible channel that might play. And here I am just guesstimating here, but that's. Then we start following that little guy, and she may even start deviating. So this way, I just think it's important to let your trades run when you can. And I just see a lot of people. It just seems like they're being, I don't know, because the people I'm seeing do this didn't start out as leverage traders. They were against it for a long time, and now they like to go on the 1 minute and trade leverage, and it seems like that's how they instruct people to do. That's what a lot of people are doing anyway. They're like, I want to do it with you. I'm going to do it with you. And like, unless you're specifically, teaching them on that, it's probably not a good idea to do that. I don't know. It's kind of different, in my opinion. But then, how come we don't do the spot trades? How come we're not tracking the spot trades? Because all I see that is, I'm just going to pay $5,000 into this. Just jump in, market, buy. Just like, not even throw it, might not even throw a chart up. It's just DCA, which is fine, man. It's fine, but that's the majority of what they've been doing. There hasn't been any strategic, it's very few strategic spot trades, and they're never talked about. So why are we not talking about spot trades? Especially if that's how the bulk of the money was made, because it wasn't leveraged and it's admitted, right? I don't know. Just trying to figure out this YouTube algorithm, man. Got an airdrop from Q&Q. Strega says, Theta trade still open, up 200%. Awesome, Strega. Awesome. Awesome. I like that. Let's look at Theta. Nice. Okay, so loudy. Okay, daily chart on Theta. Let's get some trend lines. That looks like a nice break. Ooh, that looks like a nice break. We can hold that trend line. Awesome. So what about 240? We can hold 240. Ichimoku Cloud's there. That's in our favor. What was this red box? That's usually a sell box. Was I shorting? Did I have a short thing over here? Or was it there's accumulation zone, I guess. Why have I got it red? It should be green. So, okay, cool. We talked about the possibility that it could come down here and retest this accumulation zone, but also that she might decide to do something bullish here. She went with that. Cool. I like what I'm seeing there, and then broke out the... Yeah, good. I'm all for that. She's looking symmetrically to me. Although if I were to draw, underside the trend line, it would actually be a bearish or a bullish pattern. That, a downward megaphone, or actually a bullish megaphone where they're pointing down. 72% chance that this particular shape will break to the upside. That statistic comes from Thomas Bukowski. And, I like them. So it's the guy on the bottom. I can't point it out. I got to remember to press the button so it takes it off the screen, or else I will talk through all this. And a general rule is that, you should come back up to the top of the area. That's another general rule. 350 could come back in there to play. Maybe even 381 if we had the wick. Or you could do a measure move. If you want, there's a multiplier that you could apply to this to shorten it down just a tad, but generally I find if you will just take from wherever we have a touch, a top or a bottom, and just go straight up, usually comes out to be the multiplier for real, and comes back to these areas that we retested over there. So it's a good method for a target is what I'm trying to say, because when it comes down to it, you're looking at a swing and there's a ratio to that swing, and Fibonacci proves this out. The prices kind of what am I trying to say, oscillates within it's really wild. But so these are measured moves. I usually put them into the blue category there. Of course, do not forget our Fib magic techniques. Swing high to swing low. I really expected those measure moves to line up a little bit better, but I'm taking it from wick to wick here. See no reason to change it, because that's the price it hit on some time frame, right? The number's there. I need to respect it. See if that makes a difference. It lines up a lit. What does it line up to? That doesn't even make any sense. What if I took you from the body? I'm just playing around now because I'm curious about what it's doing. That's odd. Okay, from bodies to bodies, but that's not what I normally do. So screw that idea. I'm doing what I normally do. And our 618 right over here lines up very beautifully. So why would I ever want to ignore that? Not trying to make TA fit my head. I'm trying to find out what it's saying and do what I normally do that tends to work there, and not cave into any kind of brutal concept. Some people do that. You can. I like to just explore and see things. I get some new ideas, but always stick to my tried and true rules. Go back to them. So far, so good. Could get some rejection here again at 252, being that particular 3/8 fib area. It might be if, let's say, we'll either get rejected or we'll blast through it. One or the other. Why, you want me to tell you which one it's going to do? Well, I can't do that on the daily. I have to. The Nichimoku Cloud says it might want to do it. 50 crossing the 100 says it might not want to do it. In situations like that, the smaller term time frames, like the 4 hour and 1 hour, they can give you you can kind of read through the noise there to see what's going on. So for instance, we would come to the 4 hour here and we would see we're at rejection area and we got a red candle. Well, this would be bearish. Maybe. Looks like it is getting some rejection there, right? There's actually a few little bullish signs here, but then when you come down to the 1 hour and then you see, well, she came down, but now she's looking kind of bullish on the 1 hour. 1 hour is pretty good for actually carrying out, some of these smaller swings. That's nice. In respect to that, ain't no reason to get out of this trade anytime soon. But no reason to even take profit yet, unless you just want to, because you can always take it whenever you want to, but a good, kind of, say this every time, breaking the trend line, just make sure you take it then before you come down lower where you think, oh no, now I can't do nothing. This is one of the best strategies I've ever learned, was trend lines. When you just take a simple trend line and look, just connecting this gives us another support resistance line, which is in play at this moment. Before I ever did this one, I could have started there and looked like, look, we got this, and do my analysis. It's just, you just look at the trend lines are amazing, man. I'm just always amazed by them and how price respects them or doesn't respect them and what it means when that happens. It's just, they're awesome, dude. Zooming out, and that looked like a triple bottom or possible, I'm not calling it head and shoulders, but it's triple bottom. It's not 3 rising valleys though. Anyway, it doesn't matter. You basically have a range, a horizontal range, a little channel going sideways, and we play that the easiest way. I got too many lines on this chart. I can't even see what's going on. It's a zebra. What is this? So you got some stuff going on here. Some stuff going on here, and you got a little channel, and Measured Move comes up with a 618 fib confluence. Let's roll with it. 305, 308, or $3. It's $3. $3 looks awesome. I'm saying I say three. Theta looks like it's headed to $3, man, and $3 is probably a hard spot for it. Cool. Road Dog, you went through all that just to explain we're going up to $3. Dude, just tell me we're going to $3. I don't need all the rambling. Just tell me number go up, baby. Just tell me number go up. Cake? Is that you? Is that you, Cake? Are you looking bullish? Is that a possible Adam Eve? Is it a possible Adam and Adam? Oh, I didn't know Adam got down that way. There is an Adam and Adam pattern, and it is a dangler, a pointy dangler, and another pointy dangler. I would say this is an Adam and Adam. Oh my God, what's the measured move for that? Why are you asking those sensitive questions like that? What are you, pervert? That's not the size, right? Ladies, right? So, possible Adam and Adam, same difference. Same thing. You got you boil it down to a channel idea, because that's what it is. The neckline, and then the whatever this is, the danglers to the longest dangler. Measure move to the top. Kind of brings you right back over here. It's amazing how the ratios just kind of play out. How the math, the geometry, if you will, of it all. Cake, you coming to 306? 3 is a popular number today on some of these coins. So says the dangler. Trend line, breakout, support, resistance. There's another idea right there. So many ways to dissect these things and still come up with some of the same ideas. What if you were doing that one? What would you get for your measured move? I would go from here straight down, puts it at the breakout, and it says up there. And I have been wondering, I've been kind of tracking, I haven't got a solid answer yet, but sometimes I'll take that, and when it does a retest, I will put it at the retest area. And then I find it comes closer to some more confluence areas. That might be something to keep in mind, just as something to play with. But doing it by the book would tell us that 314 should be a nice measurement. Just use a measure moves. Big thing is this line right there. We're going to put him in green because that's your baseline. When this one breaks, this swing idea is over. Yet she might be. Nah, I'm not seeing it yet. It would be nice to get a breakout to the upside of that. Change that trajectory, but more than likely we'll just kind of bounce through here for a while. Old Cake. The Mercy receives. I bought the bottom of the Degen. Congratulations. That's the best place I like to buy. I like those bottoms. I look for the rounded bottoms and bottoms of trend lines, and it's what works for me, baby. What works for me. So I just got a question. Any of the things that I go over, like the trend line strategies, the Fibonacci's when I throw them out there, the moving average stuff, I mean, do you guys find that helpful? Do you find it, if you didn't know this stuff coming into my channel, have you found that helpful? If you already knew this stuff coming into my channel, you're just sitting back and just watching me screen through coins and just looking for deals. And that's cool, because that's what I do a lot too. Nothing wrong with that, but I just, just want to make sure that people coming in, especially if they're a little newer, that they can pick up some information that helps them to nail this market. Crap, I lost some money today. It was 53, now I'm not. I thought we were up to 50. I don't know how high it was. It's higher what it was. It's like just a little 4,000. It was 3,000 and something. But I think I mentioned that earlier. I'm gonna do a little side challenge on this one and just compare my strategy to some of these others. There's another YouTuber that has an account the same size, and we're both doing margin trading, right? I think my method is more profitable. I just want to put it out there. So I can track it and measure this against his $5,000 account, since we're both pretty much at the same area, unless he's had a gigantic win that I'm always hearing about, but I'm never seeing that account number go up. I don't know. Let's see who can double it. What is this? We're at March. Do it for June. I don't know. Just compare, because our styles are different, even though our education came from a lot of our education actually came from the same place. Believe it or not. So Bitcoinio, I've got to trade. I can read this easier on my phone than I can here for some reason. What's the deal? How big is this position? Oh my God, you're in a leverage trade and you don't even know? If I'm using my trend line strategy, I don't have to stress as much about those calculations and stuff, because I'm trending, I'm riding the trend, and this is my original OG strategy. This is my original OG strategy. Is that? How big is my position, dude? That's all I'm trying to figure out. How big is my position? It tells me on here I've got a cumulative profit and loss on this BTC trade. It's telling me on my phone I'm up 143% and cumulative profit and loss at 510 on this one. Yet here it says different stuff. So that's confusing to me. My margin, okay, so my trade is $664. So I've taken $664, not all at once. Not all at once. It wasn't that big. It's only maybe a $150 trade when I started. And now my margin, what my money into it, is $666. And I've got an unrealized profit and loss of $305. And my cumulative profit and loss is $505. So basically I'm 142% up, $505 profit off of $600 in the trade. I like this better. A lot of people don't have $1,800 to put into a trade so they can make $50. There's a disconnect there, and I'm sorry, but yeah, and most people aren't comfortable doing that to make 3%, $50, $100. Maybe you got lucky and made 200. It's not very common, but maybe it could. I see a lot of setups that could go higher than that, but they get bailed out of way too early, in my personal opinion, to make that particular strategy profitable and worth it, and an advantage when it comes to taxes. At least it's swing trades, you get a little bit more bang for your buck, in my personal opinion. And the Bitcoin trade is, I'm up 80% on this. This position is 18. I've got 1,900 contracts, and I think they're $1 a contract. So this one might be a bigger trade, but it's Bitcoin. I'm trying to get some Bitcoin. I made 0.0014 Bitcoin on this trade. What's your position size? I can't. There it is, 0.002. So, yeah, 79% profit. I'm making more Bitcoin. That's important to me. I love that. BTC USD margin pair. Guys, thanks for hanging out with me. It is 1:35. It's time for me to get out here. Check out with you guys in the chat. See if you got any gold nuggets for me here at the end. Good nuggets of info. Hey, Striker. I must have subliminally read that. It repeated that. If only I had. If only I could retain info. Hey. And in mercy receipt, I'm trying to learn your strategy and draw your line. Good, yeah, man. I'm telling you, that strategy, anytime it works on any time frame. But that's what I mean. It's just your basic swing trade strategy when you break it down. But yeah, when I learned the trend lines, a light bulb. Oh man, or on rather. Cool. Yeah, the trend lines are awesome. Before I ever. Back during the pandemic and all that, we're all out of work and everything. We got the helicopter money and all that stuff, which was nice. And whatever we had left, for which were me in savings, was hardly anything. Before I gave up part of that money to a aid group or a course, I never did find a course, but they were like $5,000 or they were expensive. You know, I decided, well, I'm going to spend a whole month just me in the charts and see what I can figure out on my own. And basically all I had to go by was, the trend lines, and I just spent a whole month. But there was I still wasn't getting it. There were still some things I just wasn't getting, but I did learn a whole lot, just me and trend lines and watching price action and how it went through. I didn't know what backtesting was then. That could have saved me that whole month. But I don't know. It kind of opened up some insight for me as far as how trend lines work that other people don't really pay attention to. I don't know, it's just kind of neat. So I kind of share some of those insights too. Guys, thanks for hanging out with me. But it tickles me to death to find out that maybe something I've shared with you helps me. That's what gets me going. That gets me going. I'd rather have that than this something where I've got to come on here and worry about shilling paid subscribers for this and that, where I turn into a salesperson. I was a salesperson. I don't want to be a salesperson anymore. I hate sales. Oh gosh, I don't like that pressure of always having to do something. I just want to talk about crypto, dude, and let's make money and try not to get caught up in the world that's going to hell out here. That's my real motivation, because it's getting nasty. And Bitcoin and crypto, you can make some generational wealth if you do this right. And it's not going to always be this easy. We're losing our opportunities, diminishing returns every cycle. We got to do it as soon as we can. And I just want to help you guys do that. I feel that the right people will be led to this channel that need that information. And I pray to God that that's what happens. And that's the only reason I really, really want to do this. All right, guys, thanks for hanging out. I'll be back again tomorrow night. And hopefully I'll be a little bit more coherent in how I direct the stream. But thanks for being patient with me and hanging out. Good night. Keep God in your life. He loves you.
Come on, come here, boy. Come on. You freaky dog. I don't need to analyze.
Reckless Avengers ask, how do you backtest? That's just where you look at past history on the charts. Like you go back and just kind of identify the trend lines as they have. What I was doing earlier when I was showing you, this is where I would have got in. This is where, I would look at getting out or take profit. You're back testing those ideas. I will go over that next stream.
In the nighttime, hit my hotline, sharing secrets you wish really was part your life. Basic bullets.
Here for the time warp. Let's get the time warp. Well, since they already demonetized me, I'm going for the one that makes them mad. How's that? Or they already took the whatever advertisement thing was. Let's do it. Where you at? Let me find that. This is the one that This is it. Original.
It's unnerving. When crypto is swerving, your portfolio is veering down a deep black hole. But if you watch Road Dogg and you listen closely, he will help you gain control. Well, if you think this channel is groovy and you'd like to show your support, well, there are a few things that you can do. Find that like button, give it just a playful little smack, and subscribe and join the channel. And let's hit the like button now. Let's hit the like button now. It's just down and to your left. And you tap with your right. Look over to the side. Where you can join and subscribe. It's Crypto ROTH, the real drives you out. That's it.